sunny 46 degrees right now. A little chilly to be walking out if we have a good breeze, but otherwise very nice day. Back to you. This is Alpha Echo 4, India Mike.
Okay, Mike, yeah, good to meet you, and thanks for making the call. And good on the whiskey x-ray out. Go ahead. Rub salt in the open wound if you want, and I'll give you a report on the next go. Wasn't really paying attention. I can hear you fine now. Great copy. Yeah, it's cooled off up here. Pretty cool. Temperatures in the 20s. And a little cool at night. Not as bad as it could be. It's been a very unusual winter. So it's been unusually warm up here right through the month of December, and I have a feeling we're going to pay for it. Back to you, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that. Weather here is abnormally nice right now, but we're going to get some rain here coming up Tuesday, I believe, and it's going to be rainy and around 40, which is nasty weather for central North Carolina. At the point where people are going to go out and start buying bread and milk because they think the roads might ice over during the nighttime. Other than that, it's going great down here. You're coming in a solid 5.9 over here. And let's see, what kind of rig are you using and what kind of power are you running?
Okay, yeah, all copied there. Yeah, you're a 5.9 solid as well. Good path, I guess, right now. Running about 400 watts, and the rig is a 7300, and the antenna is it's hard to describe. It's a custom designed mini doublet. So it's I use it on 17, 15, 12, 10, and it seems to work well on all of those bands, believe it or not. It's a freak show. AE4IM K1GMM, and I'm curious as to how close you are to what is it, Mount Pisgah over on the west side, because I lived in Columbia. This was back in the 80s, and I used to take drives up to, what is that, Asheville, and head up onto the Parkway from there, and got some nice pictures even from way back then, back in the mid-90s. And I only made it because it was so hot in Columbia, South Carolina. I only made it about 9 months, dude, and I had to move back home. I was living in Connecticut at the time. Little toasty. I was shampooing rugs for a living, working for a cleaning service and disaster restoration company, and standing over 180-degree steam in that heat. You can take that and cram it as far as I'm concerned. That wasn't for me. Anyways, AE4IM K1GMM, over.
Wow, that sure sounds like a terrible job to have when the weather's really hot. We're about 4.5 hours east of Asheville. I've been to Mount Pisgah. We like to go to Asheville a lot for weekends and just to get away from it all because it is up in the mountains, usually a little bit cooler, and we like cruising up and down the Appalachian Highway and having a lot of good fun up there. Yeah, it's definitely nice and cool up there, and like I said, we love traveling, and that's one of the places we always seem to go to. Let's see. How far are you guys from, looking at the map here, you must not be too far from the New York State border then, right?
Yeah, you got it. Right over the mountain. I live at the base of the termination of the Taconic Mountain Range. And right, if you drive over the mountain, well, I used to go to Lake St. Catherine, did a lot of boating, ton of fishing over there, camping. Beautiful little lake flanked by mountains, come right down the edge of the lake there. And that's right on the border in New York State, and that's about 35 minutes. So I can make actually Granville, New York, which is a little bit closer than driving up, north of there to get to the lake, about 25 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds good. Forgot to tell you my setup here. I've got a Yaesu FTDX10 running about, 45 watts into it right now, into an end-fed half-wave multi-band antenna that's up about, the low end's up about 20 feet, the high end's up about 40 right now. So it's at a filter. It's working pretty good for me. I've got another and fed halfway. That's
Hey, Todd, what's up, man?
56 feet long that I use for NVIS, and that works great too. That's also up about 20 feet, but the far end is also at 20 feet. And that one really works great at night for the low band. Back to you.
Oh, that's cool. What was I going to ask you? 40. So I'll tell you what, 40 in the afternoons, that's where I'm usually at. But I decided to come up here and see what I could round up here. So you've been spending much time on 40 has been great up here in the afternoons. Really short. I worked a guy right on the Massachusetts border about probably 40 air miles from me. 15 over, what was it, yesterday or the day before, and at the same time I'm working Virginia. It's been a lot of fun there. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's get on 40 early in the morning. We get
hey, Mikey.
The Australians, the Kiwis, and Indonesians usually are coming in pretty good that time until it fades out about 7:30 local here, not too long after sunrise. So that's my chance to get into the Far East. Otherwise, I don't get on 40 too much. Usually I'm up in the higher bands now as the sunspots are improving, trying to get some DX into Europe and other places right now. Been getting a little bit from Africa, too, in midday on 10. That's been pretty exciting. I haven't gotten Africa at all in the last 5 years. Back to you. This is AE4IM.
Yeah, I'm not even hearing that up here, dude. Hearing those guys. I see them. There was a ZS something on the cluster this morning, and I was listening. I couldn't even hear them, which is kind of weird. But, you know, the shorter wavelengths, we all learned from our exam, prepping for our exams up here in the Northeast. That's a path that usually opens 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I guess. So not shocking that I didn't hear them. But I got a friend in Alabama that, the conditions down there are completely different than they are up here. Totally different. You know what I mean? It's just really interesting. I would expect signals to be like 20, 30 over with SFI at like freaking over 200, dude. Are you kidding me? 140 is poor to moderate conditions, right? And when I get in the hobby in 2015 on 10 meters, I was working everywhere on 70 watts. Never needed more than 70 watts. And the band closed up in, November of that year. So it was August to November. I just crushed it every day for about, 4 to 6 hours a day, just pounding away in there. And the only time I've seen 10 meters like that was during the CQ Worldwide. That weekend back in October. That was, I don't know if you saw the bands, especially 10 meters on that weekend. Holy cow, dude. Was that amazing or what?
Yeah, I was on for a little bit during the 10-meter contest. And, yeah, I got quite a few contacts, mostly Europe that day, but I'm not complaining. I'll take what I can get. Other than that, let's see. My wife is yelling at me because we're going out for dinner at the kids' house tonight. We've got to get moving here in about the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Steve, for a final, and really enjoy talking to you today. Stay warm up there, and we'll try to stay sunny and out of the rain down here. Let's see. K1 GMM, this is AE4IM. Wait for your final.
Okay, no waiting allowed, man. Get to it. Don't upset the wife there. You know what they say, happy wife, right? And I'm not going to complete it because it's cliche. 7-3, thanks for the call there, Mike. Have a great week coming up. Hopefully catch you again. AE4IM, K1 GMM, Vermont. And this is Kilo 1 Golf Mike, listening for any other calls, southwestern Vermont. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ. Hello, CQ, calling CQ17, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, calling CQ. Hello, CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ and listening. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ 17. And the wife is coming down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, Lisa, wrap it up. CQ 17 meters. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Southwest Vermont, listening. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ. Hello, CQ 17 meters. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ. Take a cruise up through the band here, and then I'm going to move to 15.
It makes me happy, but I'm not really interested in a DX-only sound. And I suppose I could probably do that pretty easily.
And I asked Lord for you to call.
My work might not, some ideas that should work.
Good stuff.
And it's freaking crap.
There's a lot of snow. It's what we deal with.
Let's go to 15. Wow, that's even bigger crap. Wow. Well, that ain't very convincing. That is a whole load of turd.
Kilo 4, Victor Bravo Bravo.
All right, let's go to 10. It's garbage. Wow. S1. S2. Yeah, I would say that band's closed right now. S3. That's freaking lovely. All right, let's check out 20. Switch antennas. That's great. All right, let's see what's going on here.
Whiskey America 5 Tango. Whiskey America 5 Tango.
Would help if I switched the tuner.
Negative. November 4th. Golf Norway Radio. Yes, November 4th. Thank you.
Whiskey America 5 Tango. QSL to 59, you are 59 in North Carolina. The name is Pete, Papa Easy Tango Easy. Whiskey America 5 Tango, 7-3.
Kilo 4, Japan, Kilo Bravo. 3, November, Bravo. Victor Oscar 2, Zulu Tango. 5 and 9, thank you. Kilo 4, Japan, Kilo
Who's
Bravo.
this guy?
Kilowatt 4, Japan, Kilowatt Bravo. Kilowatt 4, Juliet, Kilowatt Bravo.
Kilo Delta 8 Tango.
Kilo 4, Japan, Kilo Bravo. Kilo 4, Japan, Kilo Bravo.
Kilo Delta 8 Tango Oscar.
No idea who they're calling.
Tango Oscar.
Well, the worry for me would be the recharging. And as of today, I know of one charging station out here where I live, and November 4, Echo Mike, take care of yourself. All the best to you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and also your holiday. This is Whiskey Quebec, the X-Ray. All the best. Thank you much, Terrence. 7-3, buddy. 7-3. And QRZ, this is Whiskey Quebec, 0 X-Ray. November 0, Radio Mike Charlie. November 0, Radio Mike Charlie. I think you said there. Ron, how you doing? I'm doing well. Just wandering around on the bands this afternoon. I got some time between church this morning and some activities this evening, and so I thought I'd play radio for a little bit. Hey, Roger, and Ed, well, listen, there's no time like the present to play ham radio. First of all, without any further ado, I want to thank you for your service in the United States Air Force. I see that you was a PA there, so hey, Doctor, it's good to meet you out here on 20 meters today. And I certainly hope that all is well with you. And let me see, your call. It's okay, so I see it now. Just your name there. Okay, good deal. Anyway, yeah, man. Good to hear you out here, guy. I mean, sounding good, over. Yeah, I would say thank you for your service as well. I see the bronze star on your QRZ page. Yeah, I'm
220 amps. I have a possible 4.
Dell's not pointing at me, but I knew he's leased S9, so it's a piece of cake to see what the noise level is.
1 September was my last day. Well, actually, the 30th of August was my last day, but 31st of August was my last day. But yeah, man, I was so happy to retire. Congratulations on your retirement. And yeah, this is my second retirement. I retired from the United States Army back in 2006 after 25 patriotic years serving our country. And been to combat. I was over in Iraq from 2004, 2005, and after I came back, I decided to hang my boots up, man, and retire from the Army. I picked up another federal government job working in Louisville, Kentucky in the federal building, man, and had a great time doing background investigations and all of that stuff. But then, you know what? It was time to say, hey, bye. I want to play radio, Roger. Yeah, Roger, I understand that. I was in from actually 72 to 95.
The wall.
Yeah, I can replace the
Alligator clips.
I have on the wire going from the unknown, which clips onto the antenna wall. And the bottom portion, 6 feet of it slopes toward the ocean. It's a...
I will see. Oh, because now I can hear them too. But anyway, hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Like I said, I need to really pay attention in case our telephone comes up and all that. So, anyway, I'm going to say for now, 73, it was been a great pleasure to meet you. You know, and if there's anything I can do, we can...
SDR
91 Alpha, I'm on a 100 watt PU right now. Is that it? Is that a 6? So, Sierra 6 dipole. Just put that up. I would probably stay in the last.
259 into 4567 Virginia. QSL? All right, thank you much. Kilo 4 India Alpha POTA. Again? November 6th, I think, is calling me. Your audio is breaking up really badly, and I can't make out what you're saying. Check it out a little bit and give me another call if you would. Kilo 4 in.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, man? See if anybody new else is in here. Good to see you, Ryan. Yep, just spitballing. Ryan, just showing what works for me with the 7300. That's all.
For India Alpha, POTA. Kilo November 9, India Hotel Charlie. Nice big 5-9 in Virginia. All right, thank you very much, and I hope to work you many more times. Kilo 4, India Alpha, POTA.
Kilo Bravo 9 Alpha.
Alpha Victor X-Ray, thanks for the call. You're 5-9 into 4567 Virginia.
5-9 into Whiskey, India, Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you very much. Kilo 4, India Alpha, parks on the air.
Kilowatt 1, Gulf, Mike.
QRP.
QRP, go ahead, QRP.
Alpha 8, Lima Foxtrot QRP. I have you 5-9, Michigan. QSL?
Okay, John, Alpha
Yes,
8,
you do,
Lima
Ryan.
Echo, or Lima Foxtrot, I'm sorry, Lima Foxtrot. You are 5-7 in 4567 Virginia. QSL?
QSL, thank you, 73.
73, who's the other station?
Kilo 1, Gulf, Mike.
Kilo 1, Golf Mike. You're 5-9 into 4567 Virginia.
Thanks for 4567, 5-9 into Vermont. Thank you, 7-3.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. Kilo 4, India Alpha, POTA. The Oscar Delta? Quebec? Kilo Charlie 1, Quebec, Oscar Delta, thanks for the patience there. You're 5-9 into 4567 Virginia. Your audio sounds great. How about mine? Okay, thank you very much. I'm on the bank of the Rappahannock River here in front.
All the best to you and your family. Victor Kilo 5. Oh, and for people listening, I'm going to be leaving the frequency. I'm turning it over to Victor Kilo 5, Quebec Delta, Aubrey down in Australia. He's beaming long path to North America, so anyone that wants to work him, he's going to be taking the frequency, and you can give him a call. Thanks so much, Aubrey. Take care. November 4.
Do I need to relay? I think you'll need to relay. It's very, very late here. The guys...
Kilo Mike 4, Sierra Lima Whiskey.
5, Italy, November. Italy 5, Italy, November.
November 8.
Kilo Papa Radio. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll take Kilo 7 Sierra Echo November 4.
Jeez, Lisa, take it easy.
Good afternoon, Steve. Over. Well, good afternoon. I was trying to bug it. No problem. You know, the radio, the other.
Yeah. Evidently, 20 meters is good for me to get out, but not get in. So I'm hearing you well on the SDR, though. Good afternoon, Ralph.
I'm long as well, but basically, you're talking the mid 40s and 50s. And as far as the I don't have to own life, and you got to take I have to take a test.
Oof.
Well,
It's just.
Like you got a phone call there.
I heard that too. Somebody's phones are ringing.
Good morning, Mike Golf Zulu. My mistake. You're still 5 and 9 in 4, 5, 6, 7 Virginia.
If I could find a spot to sneak into, I'd just get in here and call CQ. Oh, that's pretty tight right there. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? K1 GMM. Yeah, yes, Andy, I am. Andy Hunter. Yeah, good to see you, man. Is the frequency in use? Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ20. CQ 20 meters. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Hello, CQ. Calling CQ. CQ20. CQ 20 meters. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening.
the Kilo Mike Mike is 330 Delta Zulu X-ray.
Okay, Whiskey Zero, I think you're a little off frequency. I'm on 14289, but I got a Whiskey Zero. Go ahead and hit me again. I'll get your suffix over.
Yeah, I hope I'm a little closer on that now. And the call is W0 Delta Zulu X-ray. The handle is Dave, and we're located in Higginsville, Missouri. So I copy now.
I got you, Dave. Good to hear you. Give you a report on the next go. Whiskey Zero Delta Zulu X-ray, Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike, and the handle is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo Victor Echo. QTH is up here in southwestern Vermont. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I'm kind of slow with my pencil here, so I'll need your call again. But okay, being in Vermont. And wonder what the temperature is up there. We're at 58 degrees here in Higginsville, Missouri. So back to you. Give me a call again, a little slower. I'm kind of slow brain-wise. Back to you.
Hey, that's not a problem. I usually have to ask people multiple times, Dave, to get their call. For some reason, I'm always in the fog. Anyways, the call is Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike with the hiccups. Over.
Yeah, okay, and
hiccups. I had a session of that myself here a while back. Okay. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Whiskey 0 Delta Zulu X-ray, near Kansas City, the home of the Chiefs. And I don't know if you follow football or not, but we try to follow in. They might be in the big dance this year. I hope so anyway. Well, I do have a net coming up here shortly, and sometimes they get a little kind of earlier than the actual time. So, anyway, nice talking to you, and good to hear from Vermont. Back to you, K1GMM W0DZX.
Okay, W0DZX, K1GMM. Thank you very much for the call, Dave. Good, have fun on the net. And you're about a 5'9". You were about a 5'9", but there's QSB. Typical, right? But no problem on the copy. All copied. 7-3. Have a great week coming up, and belated Happy New Year. Hope it's a great one for you and the family. W0DZX, K1GMM.
Hi, Shaq. So, catch you again, but we'll see if the group is together yet or not. So, thanks for the cue. So, this W0DZX will be clear with you.
Yeah, 7-3. 7-3. We'll catch you soon. This is Kilo 1 Golf Mike CQ20. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ20. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Hello, CQ 20 meters, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ and listening. Hey, what's up, Douglas? CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Calling CQ. Hello, CQ 20, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ and listening. CQ, hello, CQ 20, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Calling CQ, hello, CQ 20 meters, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ and listening. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ and listening. Really need to set up an automated call. I hate using my voice to call. Pain in the royal ass. I'm going to do that right now. Heck with it. Let's get over here. Voice. Record. CQ. Let's use that one. CQs. Oh, I got no, it's weird. CQ. How come I got, oh, it won't work because I'm using the USB. Flipping hell. Oh, well. It was a nice thought. Oh, I'd never, that's a problem. Well, there's the disadvantage to using a freaking, using the USB audio codec to bring everything into the radio. Freaking sucks. Bummer. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ20. I have a feeling. Let me take a look through here quick.
YGG over there in Texas. Good afternoon, Linda. Go ahead with your transmission, KN4WY.
I know people can hear me. Nobody wants to talk to me. Typical. That's what happens when you make a lot of...
something's screwy. I'll just go by the park number and we'll see what
That's what happens when you make enemies. People ignore you.
Radio here. I have a KWM 380, and over the last, 2-3 months, excuse me, every time I check in, either the propagation's bad or...
Freaking audio. I'm having a hard time hanging around on these shorter wavelengths. The audio. Some of these guys, it's such a freaking train wreck, man. I can't even listen to it. It's like freaking
taxes are out of sight. My parents paid what would they
I bet they make some mean steaks, huh?
Oh yeah, I got a couple of freezers full.
28 of them, 360 pattern, all various lengths.
And that's why I modified it, so I can use it.
Oh, nobody really calling CQ.
Anyway, start with
all reg viewers.
Victor Kilo and Zulu Lima, CQ, Victor 31 Zulu Alpha standing by.
Where is he at? Oh, that's an interesting one. Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
No, nothing heard. We're going to QS1.
Kilowatt 1 Golf Mike.
199. Very good. 5 and 9, Ohio. 5 and 9, Ohio. Thanks for your activation. Nice audio.
Head here at about a 4-4 here in Kilo 035. Today it's nice clear sky, but a little chilly. It's kind of windy in Virginia, but it's not too bad.
Hands tight. Virginia, man, that's 400 miles.
So he's talking to you on that V dipole antenna?
Some good information there. Hopefully it works out for you. Any other stations in the 8th or 9th call district for the calls net, please call.
I'm getting you on the ground plane, Ted. Okay.
D3, I'm fine. Kilo Charlie 8, Lima Uniform Bravo.
Nice upcoming week, you and your family. AK4IZ, Kilo Alpha 5, Delta Oscar Bravo 73 for now.
So Rich, do you like this with everything turned off on the microphone? Better than what it was when we first started talking?
What you gotta do is
that's so much fun. Yeah. Before I had is the frequency clear?
God. Pretty much 40 is the only band worth being on. I'm so sick of being on 40. I can't stand it anymore.
This is new. This Wi-Fi unit, I've only had it for a year, so hasn't had too many pushes on that push to talk.
no, I'm talking about the microphone. You made some solder connection, blah blah blah. How do we test it? If you want to test it, we can do that. Over.
I'd have to go downstairs to do that. I'm pretty.
Is the frequency in use? K1 GMM. Hello, is the frequency in use, please? Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? CQ, 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 CQ. Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike. Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike. Hello, CQ. Calling CQ. Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike. Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike. CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ 17. Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike. CQ and listening. Is that KB8VOM? We should be able to do that. 8-land. I can usually get 8-land in the mornings on 75, 80, and 40. Usually. Yeah, good to see you in there. Don't know your name, but that's okay. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Hello, CQ. CQ 17. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening. That's a signal that is really weak. QRZ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ, hello CQ 17 meters. CQ. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ 17. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening. I know there's a station in there. I just uncorked everything right at the noise floor. Go ahead, try it one more time, please. Over. A QRZ station calling again, please. Nothing heard. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike calling CQ. Hello, CQ 17. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. CQ and listening. boy. You're about a quarter of a dB off the noise floor. I think it's a November 2, and if that's the case, that is way too short for this band. November 2, give it to me a few times. Just the suffix only, please. See if I can grab you out of there. Go ahead. No, he's gone. Okay, sorry if you're calling. I hear absolutely nothing now. This is Kilo 1 Golf Mike CQ17. Okay, I think I got, hey Brian, how's it going? Yeah, it's me. It's me, Steve. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Can't even give you a signal report because nothing's moving. I must be pretty weak to you. I don't know if you're watching the stream. That's probably the only way you can hear me. N2UNL K1GMM, over.
Jump in and have a little better signal on you there. So we'll say 7-3 for now, and all right, we'll catch you in another band or something that works for us later on. Take care. Sounding good for
Okay, yeah, we'll catch you later. I'm going to give you a 1-1. A 1-1 get you in the log on 17. It'll go up to LOTW. So that's an okay grab at this range on this band. All right, so if you want to log it, go for it, but give you a 1-1. You can give me whatever you want. Can't be, there's no way it's that strong. Go ahead. Phew. Okay, I don't have anything coming back. So, Brian, if you can hear me, 7-3, thanks for the call, bud. We'll catch you on 15 or something like that, or 7580. Have a good one, man. This is Kilo 1 Golf Mike calling CQ. Hello, CQ17. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Southwest Vermont, listening. Yeah, Dave, that contact should not have happened. That's just freaking silly. He's only probably, I don't know, 50 miles from me or something. I have to look him up where he's at. Two-Land is right over the border from me, so that's like ground wave or line of sight or whatever. That's just silly. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, LOCQ, CQ17, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, CQ17. This is what happens all the time, right? I wonder if I'm getting out, so I'll go to another frequency where somebody's calling, and I'll go plowing in there, right? Nobody comes back to me, and the only people who come back to me I can't even hear. And I know for a fact I'm getting out. This is what pisses me completely off whenever I get on the air. Just chaps my ass. I'm like, what is going on? It makes me not want to go back to anybody. That's the way I feel. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just park it on like 70. I'm going to park it on 80 meters in the morning, and I'm going to shut the radio off and walk away for the rest of the day. That's really the way I feel. 40, I'm kind of sick and tired of 40. It's the same people all the time. Bleh. That's the way I feel. Bleh. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Last call for alcohol. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. CQ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. CQ, and possibly out of here. Listening for one more. Or one.
November 8, Fox Delta India.
November 8, Fox Delta India. What, are you watching the stream too? Is that how you found me? I'll sit here and call till my freaking vocal cords puke out of my mouth and nobody's coming back, and I'll go find somebody that's calling and I'll hit them. No problem. So I don't know what's going on there. What's going on, Ken? Name is Steve over here, Southwest Vermont. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Give your report on the next go, and thanks for making it. Over.
Kilo Golf 1 Mike. November 8, Fox Delta India. Real good. No, I just going through the bands there. I started at 10 and been going up and heard you hollering in desperation there, so I figured I'd give you a holler.
You did it out of pity, didn't you? You're about a 55 coming in. The band is, it's okay. I don't have any signals in an S9 in here right now, but that's okay. I don't care. Yep. Call of desperation and an answer of pity, Ken. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, I just watching a little bit of football down there, and don't really care about this game. I want to watch the Minnesota and the Giants game here coming up in a little bit. So I figured in between games I'd come up here and see what's going on, see if I can make a couple little contacts. Temperature, what do I got? About 30 degrees out there. Not too bad at all. A little bit of wind there this morning coming back from church. There's a little bit of wind, but not too bad now. Rig, Kenwood 570F, and talking to you right now off the vertical, ground-mounted vertical. So back to you one more time, and I'm going to move on. 73 KT1MM and FDI.
Yeah, no problem there. And, well, I hope you find a game you can stomach to watch there, Ken. Geez, there was one more thing I was going to... it went right out of my brain. I'm trying to watch the chat on the stream at the same time, which is a no-no. You don't do that. And I'm a veteran at this, but you'd never know it. I should know better than that because it train wrecks me. I'll see something someone said, and I'll think about a response, and then I'll completely think about what was going on in the QSO. I don't multitask well. 7-3, thanks for the call, man. Have a good week coming up. N8 FDI, K1 GMM Vermont. And by the way, the call is Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Golf Mike, over.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike. I got you lost the wrong way. Okay, I'll change that. 7-3.
7-3, thank you. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Listening for any other calls.
W8 Oscar Sierra Kilo.
W8 Oscar Sierra Kilo. Hey, 8 land. There you go. John, good to hear you. Name is Steve over here in Southwest Vermont. Give you a report on the next go. W8 OSK K1 GMM Vermont. Over.
Yeah, K1 GMM W8 OSK Jack, Cincinnati, Ohio, and you check QRZ. And I should have wrote it higher up in the verbiage there that I go by Jack, even though my name's John. So that's why I know who checks QRZ. You're 5 and 9, Cincinnati, Ohio, and really nice audio, nice signal. I just thought I'd say hello. I was up in Vermont on a trip several years ago, and you're southwest there. You near Bennington, Route 7?
Yeah, you're about a 57 to let you know, and thanks for a very generous 5.9. I'm about, let me think about this, 30, just about 40 miles north of Bennington. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. That's a scenic area. That's why I decided I came over too. We're at Bar Harbor, and I went up, picked up Route 2, and
a little bit higher up from Bar Harbor in Maine. I followed Route 2 all the way over, and then eventually picked up 7 and went south. And then to Albany on the way back to our home here. That's beautiful country up there, Steve.
Oh, man, dude, you drove right by the house. If you were looking west, if you're looking to the right, south of Rutland, and you're coming through, you'd probably see all the antennas. Looks like my next-door neighbor said to my wife after they moved in a little over a year ago, they said, what is your husband? Is your husband in the circus or something? She says, what do you mean? He says, well, he must be a trapeze artist or something with all the wires. And I always joke with people that if you were to take a Greyhound bus made out of cheese and throw it laterally through the property, it would come out in a dozen Volkswagen-sized chunks at the other end. It's a massive cheese grater, dude. But yeah, you'd see it. And when you're coming down 7, you'll drive through a very narrow notch before you get to a place called Emerald Lake State Park. And I live right in that canyon, basically. Appalachians are on the left and the termination of the Taconics are on the right. And that's, I live right at the base of that 4,000 footer right there, Dorset Peak. I live right in that, right on the valley floor. Yeah, it's funny you said that, Jack. I remember when we bought this house, I remember as a kid, my folks would always bring us up skiing, right? I'm originally from Connecticut. And we drive through this valley, and it's just so amazing when you drive into it. It's like a notch, you know? And it's very narrow. It's not even a quarter mile wide. And the mountains go straight up on each side. Once Appalachians are 3,000 and Dorset is 4,000. And it's like 60 degrees. It's NVIS straight up off the valley floor. And I remember as a kid driving through there, you know, we bought this house, and I never thought about that. And the day we moved in, went through the closing, we started moving stuff. I sat on the front porch and I looked across the street at Baker Peak, and I realized, I thought, holy crap, I just bought a house in the very place I've always wanted to live, because I was so awed by this area as a child. Little did I know I'd get into ham radio, and it is the worst place you could ever live to play anything RF. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that in the back of my mind. But RF can fool you, because we had a local ham, had a perfect location. He moved down the slope of a hill, and I asked him, I says, how's the propagation? He said, I can't tell any different. And I think it helps me here, especially to the east and southeast and south, because my hill slopes away, and I can, with my antenna, just a 2-element on 20, I can break all kinds of pilots in the Caribbean. So it works both ways. A little side issue, you're talking about, does your husband work in a circus? I, on the higher bands, have a sloper. And my grandson, first time he seen it, came over to the house. He calls it Grandpa's zip line. He thought it was a zip line. Go ahead.
That's funny, dude. Never thought about that one. The zip line. Yeah, well, all I can say, dude, is you don't have 4,000 footers towering up behind your house. Not really applicable. A hill, there's no difference between a hill and being out, almost nothing in flat ground. Here, yeah, you can't really say that, dude. I can tell you there's 20 dB of attenuation on signals out off. Well, I can't go west from here. Very, very difficult to go west beyond like where you're at. I rarely hear Colorado. I do hear California once in a while. But just as an example, when I say 20 dB of attenuation, you're saying, yeah, you're full of crap. I'm telling you the truth. If I hear a signal coming in and I have big antennas, I have parasitic full wave loops on 20 and 40 that fire northeast and southwest, right? And they have enormous gain and tremendous receive. I have to, right? So I'll never forget it. First time I did this, I was listening in the morning. I think it was on 20, and I thought, ooh, yeah, there's signals coming in, right? And they're starting to build in S3 to 5. I got everything packed up. I run up the mountain. I run a textbook ground plane off the top of the mountain at 2,200 feet. So I'm driving up the mountain, and I can't even hear generally California down here. Driving up the mountain, and I hear this guy in California. He's blowing in on the mobile on a little. So I get up, probably 1,000 feet in elevation, heading up the west slope and heading to the top. And I proceeded to talk to this guy in California at like 10 over on a, 70, 80 watts off a 6.5 foot serial 5,000 with a base loading coil. Crazy dude. I get up top on the mountain, work Moscow. First contact was Russia, Moscow on 5 watts. Can't do that from here. Never have done that on the shorter wavelengths from here. Can't do it. So yeah, this place sucks, dude. I'm now on 40. I have a very good path to very specific places like Pennsylvania, Virginia, stuff like that, up and down the eastern seaboard. On 40, and I run a 2-element loop on 40. And the only time I have ever worked an event, QRP, I actually took the Vermont section on 5 watts on the Pennsylvania QSO party. Unbelievable. And everybody's like, you are not running 5 watts. I said, yes, I am. 5 watts on the button. They said, you're 20 over down here. I said, well, it's 5 watts. So the mountains, I think, do something on 40 meters. I don't know. It's all marble here behind the house, and everything's very rocky. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But yeah, dude, to Pennsylvania, Virginia, I've worked Frankie WA3 RSL 5 watts at almost 20 over to Virginia on 40 meters. Crazy, dude. But there are exceptions. There's some paths that are just really good for me. With a long one, W8OSK. Hopefully, you can still copy K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM, W8OSK, and you were steady when I called you. And now I notice there's some rapid fading starting, which tells me maybe the band is going to change here. Sometimes 17 changes really fast, too. But then again, I've seen it where it'll improve, go back, get better, and go the other way, and you just disappear. So I just thought I'd say that before I go on any farther here. And I don't want to keep it too long. I can understand what you're saying with the negative 20 dB from where you are now, and there's a lot to learn still, I think, on propagation, what's happening with the ionosphere, and also I think further research propagation with the near ground around your location, and the type of soil, and the amount of water, if there's water about, or water in the soil. I mean, there's still a lot of research I think can be done. I play a little bit of QRP. I have a KX2 upstairs in the study connected to a inverted L, and on 40, I couldn't believe it. A few weeks ago, I got into Croatia with a 5 and 7 late in the evening when the band goes long. So that's why Radio Amateur is so much fun. Are you still copying me, Steve? I want to check before I go on. You still copy?
Oh yeah, super solid, dude. Super solid. It may be fluctuating. I wasn't paying attention, but I run an RXDAP system I created on the receive side, and it's it makes an S3 signal. Well, I was listening to a guy S0 on the 7300, wasn't even bumping the S meter, sounded like he was 20 over. So I can't really tell. I actually have to look at the S meter, but right at the end of your over, you're just trying to clip S9. So that's right where you were before. Go ahead.
Yeah, how much power are you running?
About 400.
Yeah, I figured you're running more power than I. Just 100 watts K3S. And on this band, it's a rotatable dipole.
and you were almost just slightly under 20 dB over on peaks.
Oh my
on
God.
That last transmission, but still there's that rapid fading in and out. Okay, very good.
20 over. What?
Let me ask you one other question. Not amateur radio wise. I remember a few years ago on the new evening news, did you not have on Route 7 down through there have some very severe flooding? Is my memory correct, Steve?
Oh gosh, Jack, K1GMM. Yeah, that was Irene. That was Hurricane Irene that came through. Geez, what year was that? 2000. Oh gosh. What is it? 23. So this must have been back in like 2011, something like that. 2010, 11 or 12, somewhere in there. It escapes me. Completely destroyed the info. I've got stories, dude, I could tell you wouldn't even believe it. You would not believe it. I'd never seen anything like it. It looked like something out of South America. I mean, it didn't mudslide, but the amount of water that came down off the mountains, dude, I absolutely jaw-dropping. I could tell you one story in particular. It's hard to believe. But yeah, it tore the infrastructure out. I mean, it took out cemeteries. There were caskets, bodies up on the mountain. They were landlocked. They were landlocked, waterlocked, whatever you want to call it. They had to airlift supplies in for, I don't know, a month. Completely took the roads out. There was no access into the mountain areas. What was a brook or a stream turned into a raging torrent like 60 feet deep or more, and completely ripped the roads clean out. There was no way to get into these places. I mean, like I said, man, I've never seen anything like it. Insane. Go ahead.
I can believe it. I remember seeing pictures. And when the ground gets wet, hydraulic pressure can do unbelievable things. You're talking about cemeteries, even here locally. Somebody was telling me we had a heck of a lot of rain. The guy's septic tank popped up out of the ground with the hydraulic pressure.
Oh, my gosh.
And my son-in-law has a master's in civil engineering. He specializes a lot of roads, dams, and things. And when ground gets wet, when dirt gets wet, the strength of the dirt just collapses, and that's why you have all those doggone slides. K1GMM, W8OSK.
I started laughing, K1GMM, Jack. I started laughing when you said that because that's just insane. Makes me worry a little bit of the next one. But they said that was like a century, the storm of the century. The likelihood that will happen again, probably not. But yeah, I mean, geez, push a septic tank up out of the ground. It's funny, you say that. I just thought of this. My next door neighbor, who no longer lives there, they moved. When I moved in '94, he told me. He was here when they poured the foundation, when they dug the foundation for this house. House was built in about 1982, I think. And he was just a young cat. He was like me. He was just out of high school. And I have water puking out of every orifice in this property. However, there is no soil. It's all rock. It's all marble. Very, very rocky. However, the valley floor is full of water. Right across the street is the start of Otter Creek, which flows all the way to Lake Champlain. And it's very marshy and swampy. And there's spring. I got 3 spring outlets on the property, right? One is right behind the house. And it's in this little swale, a little V notch. Ground is always wet. And so anyways, backtrack. He was telling me, he says, yeah, they came back the next morning. And the freaking foundation, the hole they dug for the foundation was full of water. I think about that all the time because my shack is down here in the basement. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, if your foundation ever cracked, He said, "You're screwed. You're going to wake up some morning and find a basement full of water." I said, "You're a liar." He said, I swear to you, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles. He said, "I saw it with my own eyes." I was like, holy cow. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because I got that Goliath behind the house, and I live beneath one of the largest marble quarries in the world, the Danby Marble Quarry. And a lot of the marble that comes out of there goes to all kinds of places like Turdville, Washington, D.C., and, different places. And that is basically, it's like 2 miles deep into the mountain, and it's full of water. There's pictures you can see. I think you can look it up online. It's beautiful, and they're really, really cool. It's right up above me. I can actually hear them dumping the blocks over the bank. That's how close it is. It's probably up. I'm at 500 feet. The mountaintop is a few feet shy of 4,000, so that's got to be about a third of the way up. So that's probably, 1,500 feet up the mountain, something like that, where the entrance is. And, the whole thing's full of water, dude. It's a lake in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can believe that. A similarity here in this area. The glaciers, many years ago, we had several of them. Glaciers came down, basically stopped the Ohio River Valley. And there's all kinds of quarries for rocks. And they're not sharp rocks. They're all rounded. They're very good for, for rock gardens and things like that. And, of course, they fill up with water around here. And that also causes the ground, and our hillsides. And, of course, they're not like your mountainous area. Our highest point is just around 1,000 feet, rounding it off in this area. But we do have a lot of hills. And we have a heck of a lot of rock slides, and that means that, we've got one road called Columbia Parkway from downtown Cincinnati, follows the river to the east. And they had so many rock slides, they didn't address it properly. And every several years, they had to refix it. Finally, they did it the right way. They bellied up to the bar and spent the money. So I can understand that. With all the quarries we have around here. K1GMM, W8OSK.
Yeah, K1GMM. Do you have any, what do you call it? Like copper or any iron ore metals in the ground? I have no idea. I'm just curious out in your area. Go ahead.
No, we do not.
Okay. I wondered that. Have you heard, I can't remember the guy's call sign. He's notorious on 40 meters, never runs power, and he lives up in Canada. He's north of Toronto, and I guess there's tremendous copper deposits and stuff like that. He was telling me about it one night, and he's always got a massive signal on 40 meters. I mean, he just slays it, And he's like, he says, yeah, I live on like this whole area, he said, is just laden with, I can't remember if he said iron ore or copper. I think it's copper. I mean, you want to talk about a flipping ground plane, dude. and his signal is just mad. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Sven. I think his name is Sven, but I can't remember his call sign. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard him. You're right. He puts in one heck of a signal. And I can understand what you're talking about, because now I remember, because I've been up to the UP. They have all those ore ships taking that copper out. I don't know where the heck they're going with it. And also, I guess they take it out by rail. And, there's on the internet, I don't know what you would type in for it. All over the United States, they have maps for the whole country of ground conductivity. And that sure helps a lot of hams out, Steve.
I'm gonna just take a peek right now for Figgles. Let's open a new tab. What would you type in, like ground conductivity chart or something like that, US?
Yeah, give that a try. Ground conductivity.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, check it out. A map of effective ground conductivity in the United States. Oh, hey, check it out. Yeah, you can get this right off the FCC website. Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Duh.
Well, I think the FCC, they use studies for probably AM broadcasting, and I think that FCCs have a monitoring station out in the Midwest, and they put it there because of the ground conductivity.
Okay, so I'm not looking at the legend here. What is it? PNG image. So it looks like, I'm trying to figure, I can't really see it. I think it gives it on the map, but I can't see it. But we are sitting in a 2. We are in a 2. Wonder what the difference in numbers. So I'm assuming the higher the number, the better the conductivity. And you know what they say about assumptions, don't you? But yeah, 2 is Connecticut. We're in a 2 here. Actually, am I in a 1? I may be in 1. Actually, northeastern, the northern, up towards the Canadian border, towards Northeast Kingdom in Vermont and northern New Hampshire is a 0.5. If a higher number indicates better conductivity, well, that explains a lot.
Well, I did look at that for quite a while. I'd have to go back and refresh my memory. But, there's variables in that also. Example here, when we're in a severe drought, I have a ground rod. I'm down in the basement. I've got a finished basement. And straight out through the foundation, not far from my house, I got it away from the foundation several feet. I have my ground rod, and I believe that in the summer we have a severe drought. I think that that causes me some loss in of dB as far as propagation, and of course, times of the year where we get a heck of a lot of rain, it really helps it. Water is, I've heard. I'll give you 2 examples. One, many years ago, a guy going across the bridge down in Florida. Before he got to the bridge, he's running mobile.
Splattering.
And I'm coming up with this water going over. It's a very low bridge just above the water. His signal popped up quite a few dB.
12 to 15
when he went back off on the other side, there was a narrow piece of water. It went back down. And I've known guys, there was one guy in particular, I would listen to him. He never ran power. He was next to a swampy area that's tidal. He had a vertical in that on the East Coast. I forget, Maine or whatever state it was. He would work into Europe like crazy with low power because of how he had that antenna set up with, in that swampy area.
And that right there begs the question. I've been tempted to play with a G7 FEK. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Out in front of the house. And I have a spring, which actually comes up and then it flows on the surface and connects and flows right into Otter Creek, connects basically to the watershed. I was talking to a friend of mine and he's like, dude, you should spank a ground rod right into that sucker and basically see if you can make a connection to the entire mountain behind the house, because it's all full of water. The core is full of water. All the water comes from there. And the entire valley floor. I've always thought about that, dude. Would it work? Nah, I don't know. Would it be worth a try? I don't know. Maybe. Go ahead.
Well, give it a try. I mean, another example, and I'm trying to think. This just happened in the last few weeks. I forget. The guy's working portable, and I think he was down in North Carolina somewhere on the beach. And he's right next to the beach, and he's working portable like a man pack, and he's got a ground wire off of that thing. It goes into the ocean. And he was running a pile up doing that.
You know, I totally believe that, because remember what I said early on, when I go up on the mountain, I run that ground plane. Well, I have a wire that's probably 40, 50 feet long. It's not part of the radial system because I have tuned radials for all the bands, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 on that. And I'm not going to explain the antenna, but it's a real Rube Goldberg, but it works really good. Basically looks like a sailboat mast. So it has a pulley on the top, and it's modular. So I can change out the elements and keep the antenna resonant for maximum efficiency, going through those bands. All the elements aren't on there. I didn't want to do it that way to prevent any interaction with them seeing each other, even though a lot of people say it doesn't. Nah, I don't buy it. So, that's how I do it. Well, I got a one radial that I have a steel bolt on. It's like a, dude, I don't know, a 1/2 inch or 5/8 bolt with a big lock nut on it. And I got the wire attached to that, and I take that and I heave it into this pond. I go up to an old ski area called Snow Valley, and the snowbanking pond is right next to the antenna. So I take that and I throw it into the freaking pond. I make sure it goes, it's probably 10 or 12 feet deep. And I'll tell you, it works. I believe that even with fresh water, it will work. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I can understand what you're saying. And I can tell you one more example I did at my other house. I had a 5B and I used that. I dedicated it almost totally to 40. And I only had two radials on there, 2 quarter-wave radials, 32 feet long.
Gunter.
And they were in a French drain. So every time it rained, there was 2 downspouts, my downspout and the neighbors. And it would, this French drain would pick that up, and always kept that unless we were back to a severe long-term drought. And I could tell a difference. It would keep that always moist, and I would get very good reports. And I just had those 2 radials set up like that, Steve.
Wow, just those 2. You didn't have any on this, no other radials on that thing. I know the antenna you're talking about. It's a great antenna. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had the 2 radials. I had an 8-foot ground rod right under the antenna, and the antenna was set almost on top of the French drain also.
Where you really don't know, do you, about this stuff? And I take your point, and I totally agree with it, what you said earlier. There are anomalies in a QTH that are very difficult to predict. And the only way you can really figure stuff out is to try. It doesn't hurt to try. You know what I mean? Just because you look at a map doesn't mean a particular approach wouldn't be prudent. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you have to at least try it to find out, because like I always say, some rules are meant to be broken, or some rules can be broken. You know what I mean? You can look at all the modeling in the world and you can get a general idea of how an antenna is going to perform, but there are anomalies and situations in a QTH. I'll give you one for an example. Well, my QTH and what's going on here. I was unaware of this, but Ballon Designs actually builds a Ballon for, let's say, an 80-meter dipole or doublet or whatever you got up there, specifically for the application. I don't know if you've seen this, where the antenna is in a certain proximity to a metal roof on the house. Now, I have a metal roof on the house that's 70 feet long. And I can tell you there on that 80 meter, any 80 meter antenna I put up is within anywhere from, it's probably about a third of a wavelength away from that metal roof. It's above it. But I know for a fact, I've tried phasing antennas, dude. Yeah, forget it. Now, I did get them to work incredibly well, but people are like, there's no way that should work. And I'm like, hey, that freaking roof, I'm telling you, is detuning the living snot out of that. I know it is. Sometimes it works to my advantage. You kind of see where I'm going. You have to try it and just see if you can make it work, and try not to stick to, keep in mind the rules, or, some rules can't be broken, some can. Over, K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM, W8OSK. Well, a heck of a lot of hams break the rules, and I'll tell you, the big group of those people now are people that are in places with covenants and restrictions. And by gosh, they want to get on the bands, and they'll use anything they can get by with. I know the company Alpha has a gutter antenna kit where they clip on the gutter, have a bow and a ground rod right underneath that. And of course, the gutter dumps out on the lawn. The ground rod in that area is going to be moistened all the time. I have an Alpha J-pole and sloper, and I actually have it mounted off the back of the house. And I called the owner of the company. I've also met him up at Dayton Ham Convention. And he says, well, the only thing is stay 3 feet away from your gutter at the feed point so you don't detune it, which I've done. But in a lot of cases with the antennas, the gutters can be sort of like a capacity hat. So you just never know. And, there's godzillion hams. Their antenna system's not optimized, and they all do well, and they're happy. I think I'll make this my last. It's getting near supper. It's 20 of 6.
Wow, 20 of 6.
And I think I'm going to go upstairs and call it a day. I might tune around just for the heck of it. I enjoyed the contact, Steve. A lot of really interesting information. K1GMM, W8OSK.
Yeah, W8OSK, K1GMM. And thank you, Jack. This I'm more into these cerebral QSOs that get me thinking. I always like to be pushed. I always learn, I listen, and I learn from others. And I really, really enjoyed this QSO. This was kind of like an icing on a cake that's starting to go moldy, and the icing's really good. So I think I'll just eat the icing off of it. And just to tie it off, right when you said that about the ground rod in the proximity of the drain from the gutters, I happened to look over at the chat, and my friend Paul over in the UK, he said his earth goes into a soak away from the pipe that comes off the roof. There you go, dude. I kid you not. I saw it right as those words were coming out of your mouth. So he's got the same type of setup. And here's one just to tie it off, and I'll try and keep it brief because I know you want to go. Excuse the wife because she's pounding on the floor upstairs. So Frank, WT1B, and Paul, what is Paul's call sign? They live like practically right across the street from each other in Florida. And down on 3615 in the morning, I'll be down there knocking around sometimes with a group I get with. And both of those, I will hear them. Well, I'll hear Paul from Florida on 80 meters in the morning, right? This is pre-gray line. And he'll be coming in. He's pretty good. Anywhere from a 5.6, 5.8, somewhere in there. No power, just barefoot, no amplifier. And you know what he's running for an antenna? He's got a G5 RV with a freaking 450 with a ladder line laying in the gutter. And Frank has got, what does he have up? He's got a full wave loop, I think. I can't even hear Frank. And I've talked to him extensively about that, and it's the running joke. That antenna should not work, dude. That G5, the way he's got that set up, he's literally got it laying in a metal gutter. He's not using the gutter to load it or anything. It's laying in the gutter. And it freaking kicks butt, dude. Don't ask. I don't know. I don't get it. So anyways, it's all good stuff, man. It's fun. We'll see you later. Have a great week coming up, and I appreciate you making the call, man. And thanks for a nice yacker. Really made my weekend really good, and I mean that. W8OSK. Hopefully we'll catch you again there, Jack. And all the best to the family there. K1GMM.
Yeah, W8OSK for a short final. I've never heard of such a thing. It's back to what you said before. You know, you can break the rules and it'll work, and that's obviously what he's doing, no doubt about it. And you've pushed me too, cerebrally, as you said. In fact, I'll probably quote some of the things you said with a bunch of local guys we get together from time to time. It's a great hobby, and you know, I see these and hear these guys with these humongous antenna farms that they're, you know, with these fantastic antennas, but you've got all these other guys doing what we're talking about, and they really work. See ya. I enjoyed it, and you and your wife, good luck, good health. K1GMM, W8OSK, clear.
Yeah, 7-3 there, Jack. Take care, buddy. K1GMM. All right, you guys, and that concludes this episode of The Foolishness. I'm going to get out of here because I can't believe it's that late, 5:45. So that was fun. People are so interesting, aren't they? Just the knowledge they have, and see, he's an old school ham, I can tell. I don't pay any attention to new schoolers because they're just like me. We all think we know it all, right? But I'll tell you what, there is no substitute for experience. I'll tell you what, you get the impression he's seen a lot of crap in his day. I'm going to have to look up, I'll have to look him up after the fact and see what, how old he is and how long, if I can figure out how long he's been in the hobby. Very cool. 7-3 guys, we'll catch you all later. Have a great week coming up. I'll be back at some point. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate all the support. And I appreciate the very kind comments and ham like me, whoever it was that made the comment about, well, he thanked me for the videos, and you're certainly welcome, man. That's why I do it. Okay.